What are the four beasts in Daniel chapter 7? In Daniel 7, the prophet records a night vision that God gave him concerning four world empires symbolized as four beasts. That's in Daniel 7, 1 through 14. The four empires are the same as Nebuchadnezzar saw in his dream in Daniel 2, although in that dream they were pictured as various metals in a statue. Daniel's vision assures us that the world empires has a certain amount of authority for a certain length of time, but they will all pass away, and the holy people of the Most High will receive the kingdom and will possess it forever. Yes, forever and ever. Daniel 7:18. The vision of the four beasts troubled Daniel, and he wondered what it meant until an angel explained it to him. Even then, the vision and its interpretation continued to cause Daniel distress. I, Daniel, was deeply troubled by my thoughts, and my face turned pale, but I kept the matter to myself. Verse 28. Daniel looked at the four beasts. Daniel's vision of the four beasts began with the windy night and a troubled sea. In my vision at night I looked, and there before me were four winds of heaven churning up the great sea. As Daniel watches, four great beasts, each different from the other, emerged from the dark waters. The first of Daniel's four beasts is like a lion, and it had wings of an eagle. As Daniel watches, the four wings are torn off the beast, and the creature stands erect like a man, and a human mind is given to it. Later, the angel who interprets the dreams tells Daniel, the four great beasts are four kings that will rise from the earth. The first beast is representative of King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon. It rises to human-like statue reflects Nebuchadnezzar's deliverance from a beastly existence and his insight into the true nature of God. The second beast in Daniel's vision is like a bear. It was raised up on one of its side, and it had 3 ribs in its mouth. A voice tells the second beast to devour flesh until it is satisfied. This beast represents the Medo-Persian Empire. The rising up on one side of the creature indicates that one of the kingdoms, Persia, would be dominant. The 3 ribs in the creature's mouth symbolizes nations that were devoured by the Medes and the Persians. These 3 conquered nations are known to be Babylon, Lydia, and Egypt. The third of the four beasts is the leopard, except it has 4 bird-like wings on its back and 4 heads. The beast is given authority to rule. The third beast represents Greece, an empire known for the swiftness of its conquests. The 4 heads are predictive of the 4-way division of the empire following Alexander the Great. Daniel's vision of the ram and the goat gives further detail of the second and the third kingdom. The final beast that Daniel sees rising from the sea is the most dreadful, terrifying and frightening and very powerful. Daniel 7:7. This 4th beast has bronze claws and large iron teeth. It crushed and devoured its victim and tramped underfoot whatever was left, totally annihilating its prey. The 4th beast has 10 horns. The creature represents the Roman Empire, a mighty kingdom that indeed crushes all its foes. So Daniel's vision of the 4 beasts provided a prophetic look at future world events. Looking back from our perspective, we see these events as world history and can easily see the correlation between each beast and a world empire. However, there are much to Daniel's vision, and some of it is yet future, even for us. Daniel's attention is drawn to the destructive 4th beast, and he ponders the meaning of its 10 horns. And then a smaller horn began to grow from the midst of the 10. As the little horn emerged from the beast, 3 of the original horns are plucked out by the roots. Daniel sees that the little horn has eyes like the eyes of a human being, and a mouth that spoke boastfully. The proud, boastful words of the little horn continued until the Ancient of Days set up a day of judgment. At that time, the beast was slain and its body destroyed and thrown into a blazing fire. This is the contrast to the fate of the other 3 beasts, who lost their authority but were not immediately destroyed. After the 4th beast is killed and his body burned, a son of man comes from heaven in the clouds. He approached the Ancient of Days and was led into his presence. This man is given authority, glory, and sovereign power, and all the nations of earth worship him. The kingdom he rules is everlasting and indestructible. As the interpretation of the vision is given to Daniel, the prophet asks specifically about the fourth beast and its horns. The angel explains, the beast's 10 horns are 10 kings who will rise from the kingdom. The little, imposing horn with the eyes and the mouth of a human represents a later king. Before him, 3 of the original kings will be subdued. This evil king will speak against the Most High and oppress his holy power. He will seek to change time and laws, and he will exert oppression power over God's people for 3.5 years. This world leader that Daniel saw is the Antichrist, the ruler who will come, who sets up the abomination in Daniel 9:27. Given the fact that the Antichrist emerges from the fourth beast leads us to surmise that in the end times there will be a revival of the Roman Empire, featuring a coalition of 10 world leaders. The Antichrist will take his position of leadership at the expense of 3 of those leaders, and he will eventually wield global authority. A true tyrant, the Antichrist will demand worship and seek to control all aspects of his life. The little horn of Daniel 7 is the first beast of Revelation 13. Notice that the beast in Revelation has 10 horns, and John describes it as resembling a leopard, but had feet like those of a bear and a mouth like that of a lion. In other words, the beast of Revelation contains elements of all of Daniel's beasts. Like Daniel's fourth beast, John's beast speaks proudly and oppresses God's people for 3.5 years. The good news is the reign of the Antichrist is limited, 42 months and no more. Then God promises to judge the little horn. The court will sit, and the little horn's power will be taken away and completely destroyed forever. Or as John saw it, the beast was captured, and it was thrown alive into the fiery lake of the burning sulfur. The Son of Man will rule forever. It is very interesting to compare Daniel's vision of the 4 beasts with the king Nebuchadnezzar's dream of a large statue. Both visions symbolizes the same kingdom of the world. In Daniel 2, the king dreams of the earthly kingdoms as an enormous, dazzling stature, awesome in appearance. However, Daniel sees the same kingdom as hideous beasts. So we have 2 very different perspectives on the kingdom mankind builds. The ruler of the world sees their kingdom as imposing artistic monuments fashioned of valuable metal. However, God's prophets view the same kingdom as unnatural monsters. Daniel's vision of the 4 beasts warned Israel that there would be a procession of enemies and the world rulers holding authority over them. However, they should not lose heart. In the end, God is in control, and the Messiah to come will defeat the kingdom of the world and establish his throne forever. Amen.